I was heartbroken when I learned the horrific news of the 215 Indigenous children's remains found in Kamloops, BC. I immediately thought of these poor children, their brothers, sisters, parents, and grandparents. And having just celebrated Mother's Day, I especially thought of the mothers. I can't imagine the pain that these mothers suffered. This discovery has also reopened many wounds, and I've seen a tremendous outpouring of emotion from many Canadians. I've spoken to Indigenous residents in my riding, and although they've appreciated the overwhelming response by so many, they also want to see action to allow for closure and ensure that such atrocities will never happen again. So what are we proposing to do about this? The Truth and Reconciliation Commission published 94 calls to action. There is a section titled Missing Children and Burial Information that has been ignored. My party and I are calling on the government to implement these actions by July 1st. They include requesting all documents regarding the deaths of children in residential schools, funding a residential school death register, creating an online registry of residential school cemeteries, including plot maps, and properly marking and maintaining these graves and cemeteries. In addition, we're also asking for funding to allow for investigations of all former residential schools in Canada where unmarked graves may exist. We are asking for funds to ensure that communities can reinter, commemorate, and honor any remains discovered. We're also asking for a detailed and thorough set of resources to educate Canadians of all ages on the tragic history of residential schools in Canada. As Canadians, we must admit and own the reality of residential schools in Canada. Thankfully, Prime Minister Mulroney shut down the last of the residential schools, and Prime Minister Harper gave an official apology to Indigenous people on behalf of Canada. Prime Minister Harper also created the Truth and Reconciliation Commission specifically to get to the bottom of issues like this. Indigenous Canadians deserve much more than a Facebook post or a tweet. It is important to spread awareness of this tragedy, but we also need to investigate further and provide resources to Indigenous communities from coast to coast. It is our collective duty to heal the wounds from this dark part of our history. I support the process of reconciliation with Canada's Indigenous peoples. Reconciliation means recognizing areas where we have made mistakes and striving to be better. It means learning from where we have fallen short and making more than symbolic gestures. It requires action and partnerships with those who have been harmed so that we can right wrongs and move forward. That's why I will be pressing the Liberal government to put less focus on social media posts and more focus on delivering change to Indigenous communities across Canada. I have gotten to know many Indigenous people over the years. This is my strategy to be part of the solution, to get to know people with a different life experience from mine. It is only through befriending and understanding others that I can truly begin to understand what life looks like from their perspective. If I can start seeing life through other people's eyes, I can truly represent everyone in Saskatoon West.